going? Welcome. My name is Amanda. Thank you so much for joining me. And for this video, I'm really excited. We're going to go through my new Hoya cabinet. All of my Hoyas will not fit in here, but a good chunk of my collection is in here. So I was going to give you a quick overview of the cabinet, the accessories that I used, and then a full cabinet tour of all of the Hoyas that I have in here. This one is probably going to be a longer video, so I suggest you grab a drink, a snack, get comfy, and let's sit back and look at all of my Hoyas in my cabinet. So this is my cabinet. It is a Millsbow wide cabinet. Inside of the cabinet, I have two different pots that I use just to keep the aesthetic going. So I have like my DIY holographic cups that I make into like self-watering planters, and then just some gray self-watering planters that I found to really love for Hoyas. The majority of my Hoyas are in pon. I find that it just does really good with their like small root system. It gives them a chance to establish themselves. I love these trellises. I use them from two different sellers. I can link those if you guys are interested, but I have linked them in other videos where I talk about Hoyas. I did get a shelf from Modern Aqua, and this is probably the only regret that I have in this cabinet, and I will show you why. So since this is a Millsbow wide, I wanted the full space of this, but with my Hoyas, I knew that I really only needed as high as my trellis, so I wanted to utilize the most of this space. But if I open these doors, everything looks great, the shelf is straight, but if I pull open the second door, it droops. So if you are going to get a Millsbow wide and you're thinking about getting a Hoya cabinet, honestly, I would stick with the glass shelf. I wouldn't go for the Millsbow acrylic. I love Modern Aqua and I have their shelves in all of my other cabinets. I just think for this specific cabinet, the wide, if you want the full shelf, the glass that the cabinet comes with is just going to distribute that weight a lot better, and so you don't necessarily need to invest in this. The only pro is I did buy the version 2 of this Millsbow wide full shelf, and so I was able to screw in my mother grow light directly into the shelf, and I didn't have like a whole bunch of things I had to configure, or you know, like the sticky tape or whatever that you could see on the top of the shelf. But honestly, once you get your plants in there, it really doesn't matter. So that is my one and only regret. It does have these additional supports right here on either side of the door, but again, you have to like lift up the shelf to put the door back in. Not my favorite. So I've just been reminding myself that the purpose of this cabinet is to not open it every day. I want like a really warm, humid environment for these Hoyas that is very similar to where they are from. And so I want to replicate that as much as I can in my collection. So only downside, I would not recommend. But you do you. You want it, you get it. I support you either way. One of the other modifications I made to this cabinet is on the very back, you'll see how my cabinet is black. I was setting this up and my daughter was very excited that I was excited. And so she came into my office, and when she stepped back, she bumped into the glass. And so one of the back panels was broken. So I called IKEA. They didn't have any like random pieces of glass from other Millsbow wides. So I ended up finding a black acrylic, and then I left the acrylic on the back covered up. So as these ones wear out, or if I notice they get like, I don't know, I don't think that they will, but if acrylic starts to get like dingy or faded looking from the amount of grow lights I have in here, I can flip the acrylic around and then I'll still have that same like crisp black on the back. I really love the black on the back of the cabinet. I think it gives it like a good amount of depth and helps highlight the foliage where it's not like my bright teal paint coming through with my plants. Originally I was just going to use like a black wallpaper on this, so the glass broke. I found a similar purpose, and it was cheaper than me having to go and get a piece of glass made. If you do need attachments though for your IKEA cabinets, you can reorder them. They have a replacement part page. So like if you need new hardware for the shelves or new screws or whatever, those are available. You just have to call your local IKEA to see if they have additional glass pieces if you need replacements for your cabinets. For grow lights in this cabinet, I'm using two different kinds. So I have on the top shelf up here, Barina T5 grow lights. I just purchased like a 6-pack of the 1-foot lights, and I have them connected. So there's 4 1-foot T5 Barinas on the top shelf. And then on this bottom shelf, I do have a mother grow light. My husband bought me a mother grow light a couple of years ago for Christmas when I was looking to do my Millsbow tall cabinet, but he decided to go big or go home and buy me the longest one, not the shorter one. The 15, I believe, inch is what you need for a Millsbow tall. So I've just been using it as a stand light this whole time in my collection, but I wanted to see how it would do with Hoyas. I think the Barina T5 lights are the best if you are looking to get any type of sun stressing. They just really bring out the variegation and the sun stressing, like that beautiful, like deep pigmentation on all of my Hoyas. They've been my favorite grow lights to help encourage that. So I'm curious to see how the mother grow light does here. I have more of my delicate leaf Hoyas down here on the bottom, so I'm hoping that one light doesn't give them like too much light. I know that if I were to put them up on the top, it would be way too much light for them up there, so I'm hoping that the mother light pans out. But this isn't a light that I've used consistently and I don't have a lot of experience with. So for total accessories that I have in this is I purchased this Hoya Bloom handle, which I could not pass up. I had no self-control, had to get it. The Modern Aqua shelves, which again, I wouldn't necessarily recommend if you're looking to get the full length shelf for your Millsbow. My Barina T5 grow lights, my mother grow light. Then I do have a humidity gauge on the back wall and a fan on this back corner over here. If you've watched any of my other videos where I've talked about like setting up a cabinet or anything like that, I always recommend putting the fan on the bottom of a cabinet. Inside of these greenhouses, heat is going to naturally rise. So if you're able to encourage that natural rising of hot air by blowing up the stagnant air, you'll get a pretty good circulation. I also find that your plants, if they're in semi-hydro or you have a pole of any kind, having one fan in the bottom just helps everything stay consistently moist and doesn't dry anything out by having a fan on every level. If you have any questions on the accessories or how I set this up or anything like that, please let me know. But now I'm gonna move on to the fun part, and we are gonna take out all of my Hoyas and go over what I have in here and show you guys a little bit of my Hoya collection. Inside of my cabinet, I do not have any organization of like, these are my favorite Hoyas, these are my small leaf Hoyas. They are all just in here. The majority of them that have been moved into this cabinet were moved in specifically because I've already moved them over to semi-hydro. There have been a couple of them that I moved over a few nights ago in my own time, and my Walliana especially stressed. Besides that, I think the rest of them are in good condition, but I haven't really checked on them since I put them in here. But yeah, I'm just gonna start pulling them out one by one and we can go through my Hoyas and then I'll put them all back in when we're done. This is a cute little leaf Hoya. This is my Hoya IM02. And what I really love about this is this one is more of like an arrowhead shaped Hoya. I love small leaf Hoyas, but this one is really fun. It is a slower grower than the IM08, which I do also have in this cabinet. We'll get to that one in a little bit. But if you like small leaf Hoyas, this one is seriously so cute. And the leaves are slightly fuzzy. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but it's just like around the edges. It's very dark velvety. It's very easygoing. Next up is a new Hoya for me. I did do an unboxing of this one that I'll link up here. I don't know how to pronounce this one, but I'll put it up on the screen for you guys. It's really beautiful. It's one of those like long leaf Hoyas and it's intervariegated. So like the coloration on this is just so beautiful. These are my DIY self-watering planters. So it's just like a little cash pot inside these fun holographic. I wanted a pink pot and I couldn't find one, so I settled on these. And then I did just find some orchid, like colorful leca that I put on the top just to make it be a little bit more fun. I know a lot of people are really into like white when it comes to houseplants, but I don't know, plants are just so beautiful. I think accessorizing them with color just brings out how much more vibrant they are. So I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I really love these planters. Next up, we have my Carnosa Madara Snow Angel. This one is seriously so stunning. I got this as a wish list plant for my birthday a couple months ago as a one leaf cutting. So I've gotten 2 cuttings in my care. It is seriously, I can't believe that I have this plant already, but I will say for this one, it is a super slow grower. So the reason why the price tag on this one is so high is because it takes so long to grow this, but it is absolutely stunning. If you're thinking about it, if you find a good deal, I would say go ahead and get it. But I do think the price on this one is going to remain high for a while just because of how slow it takes to push a leaf. But I'm very happy that I have it. Next up, we have a thin leaf that is sun stressing a little bit. I think this one is absolutely beautiful. This is a Hoya Carry or NS13-064. I really love these like long arrowheaded leaves. It reminds me kind of like an anthurium shaped leaf on a Hoya, which I think is pretty cool. This one is a really fast grower and it has taken off so much since I put it in semi-hydro. If you're struggling with like a thinner leafed Hoya, put it in semi-hydro. You can put it in leca or pond, but it will just flourish. I love this one though. I think it's so beautiful and dainty. This is one that I picked up from Hoya Treasures and it has grown so fast. This one, I've been waiting such a long time, basically since I got this plant for it to bloom. So this one is my Hoya Patella Pink and look at how cute that bloom is. I can't believe I got it to bloom. This is my second year of owning it. And this plant, honestly, we went the rounds with. At first, I thought that it was gonna die. I took it out of pond. Oh, there's a dog here. Hi, Newman. But I took this out of pond and put it back into stratum. I can't even tell you how many times. So I didn't think that we would ever get here. But it is so beautiful. It's very interesting. Now that this one is established in semi-hydro, it's a super fast grower, but it did take me, like I said, months to get this established and push out any type of new growth. Next up, we have another delicate leaf. This is my Hoya Medusa, and it's starting to get this really pretty sun stressing. I think it's so pretty. It's like a burnt burgundy. I don't know if that's like an actual color, but it's not orange. It's definitely a very pale burgundy tone. Like almost a purple red. What color is that? I don't know, but it's so pretty. I can't get over the sun stressing. And this one is sun stressing underneath the mother grow light. So we'll see how it goes. This is like another branch that's coming off. But yes, Hoya Medusa, such a fast grower, very easygoing. It loves being in semi-hydro. And again, I just have it in one of like my little DIY planters. This is my Hoya Polynura intervariegated. I think I have every variegation of Polynura. I absolutely love this one. This is the first poly that I've put on a trellis. So we'll see how it goes. But the variegation on this plant is stunning. And I love like the fishtail, mermaid tail. Oh. Here goes a piece of leca. I'm interested to see how it does on a trellis, but I'm hoping that by putting it on a trellis, I'm going to help the plant feel more secure and I'm going to get blooms faster than my trailing ones. So we'll see. It's a race between this one and my Polynura Albo to see which one blooms first. This one looks a little crazy in this pot. I don't have a trellis yet because it has like 4 different growth points. So I'm not exactly sure if a high arch or like a rounder circle trellis is going to be better for this one. So I'm just waiting for the growth point to kind of even out. But this is my Hoya Globosa Pink. So this one has a really thick textured leaf, but it also has like a little bit of fuzz around the top of it. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but it does have like little teeny tiny fuzzy border leaves. I think that they're so fun. This one is a very vibrant, like true green. And I feel like when it comes to Hoyas, they normally have like a deep velvety color. So getting one that is like elementary school color green, you know, just like traditional green, I feel like is really rare. I also like the subtle like veination that you get on this one. It's kind of like a ribbon design. And I don't know, I find that very interesting. But yes, this one we will see how it grows and what trellis it needs. But right now it just kind of looks like a Hoya baby bush tree. I don't know. I'm very excited for the blooms on this one though. This is another one of my favorites. I'll take it out of the cash pot. So this one right here is my Hoya Carnosa Freckles. This one, I just absolutely love this one. It started to sun stress just a little bit. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick it up, but it has like this very subtle pink sun stressing coming across all of the silver. I think it's so cute. I obviously want to like keep the silver as much as I can, but that like faint overlay of pink has been really fun to see. I just recently put this one on a trellis and it gave me these 2 new leaves. which I was very surprised about. And then I have another 2 coming up here and some more over here. These trellises I got from a different seller than I typically do, and I'm not sure how I feel about them yet. So I'm not going to say anything about the shop or the trellises until I get a little bit more time with them and see how they help my plants. I do think this little prism is very fun though. But Hoya Freckles. This is another one of those Hoyas that's giving me a little bit of the pink sun stressing on it. This is a Hoya Ragsan Splash. I'm not really sure what the blooms or anything on this one look like. I've just recently taken it out of stratum and potted it on here, so I'm trying not to really mess with it or do anything until it gets reestablished. But I do love like how elongated and pointy these leaves are. I'm hoping that it keeps like the pinky tone over this one, but it's also very similar to my Hoya Freckles. I mean, they're still different, but they are very similar. So this is one of my Hoyas that I'm considering possibly letting go from my collection. I do think it's really beautiful, but there are a lot of other Hoyas that I would like to add to my collection. So where I have something like this, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you guys really like the Ragsan Splash? I really like this one leaf that's like elongated. I think that's cool. But you can't keep a plant for one leaf, so I don't know. But it is a very fast grower. It's very hardy. This one you can neglect and it will still love you. So all in all, she's a little gem, but we'll see if she stays or if she goes. I don't know yet. Sorry. Next up, we have my Hoya ETS-10 Silver. This one is like a fun little, I don't know, oval shaped leaf. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Lacunosa silver or the Croniana silver. Like the coloring is the same, but the leaf shape is very circular. This one might actually be a hybrid. So if it is, I'll put up on the screen which 2 Hoyas are crossed to make this. But this one is really fun. This is a new one I saw in stock at Hoya Treasures a couple of months ago. I knew absolutely nothing about it, but it was a variety in her shop that I didn't have. So here it is. So this is my Hoya Boiti. I don't know. I'll put it up on the screen. This is one of the first Hoyas that I got when I started like obsessed collecting them. This one came as a rehab from the Green Escape. So there are a couple of like the older leaves that now that I've transitioned it over into Pawn are starting to yellow off. I'm also hoping that this one has blue blooms instead of white. Since it was from the Green Escape, they don't tell you like what color the blooms are. So I have no idea. If it blooms, I will keep you updated. But as of right now, I'm just letting this girl hang out, reestablish herself, and maybe I'll look forward to blooms next year. So starting with some of the Sunstress ones. Lost a piece of Leca. This one is my Pink Silver Ghost. And like I absolutely love the sunstressing on this one. So I have this one on the top of my cabinet with the 2 T5 Barinas. And I think that it just, I don't know, it just brings out the best sunstressing if that's what, oh my gosh. There goes Runaway Leca. If that's what you're looking for. This one has been a pretty slow grower for me, so I'm not sure if the Pink Ghost is a little bit slower. But I've had this one for a while for it to only have 5 leaves. This is one of the unicorns that I have in my collection that I can't believe I was able to find this year. But this is a Hoya Nabawaniensis? I don't know. I'll put it up on the screen. Variegated. This one is starting to get a little bit of that sunstressing as well. Really pretty variegation on the underside as well. I really, really love this one. I wish that it would grow faster, but this is another one that's just very slow. There's a little growth point in there. We're rooting for her, but she's definitely taking her sweet ass time to do anything. I've gotten 2 leaves since I've had her, and I have purchased so many Hoyas, I can't tell you what month that was. But it's been a while since I've been waiting for this plant to do something. This is a new one in my collection, and again, I didn't know anything about it. I saw it on Hoya Treasures website, purchased, add to cart. This is a Jita Silver, I believe. Jita Silver? I don't know. I need to look up these Hoya names. But this one is seriously so beautiful. It's like splatter paint. I feel like this one looks a lot different than my Hoya freckles because it's not like there's no sectoral variegation on here. It's all just throughout each leaf, but it's very consistent. It kind of is like robin egg. You know, robin eggs, how they have like those speckling. That's kind of what it reminds me of too. But I think this one is so beautiful. It's transitioned seamlessly over into my semi-hydro setup. It's been doing really well with like my fertilizer and my care routine. I've had this one for 2 or 3 weeks now, and I don't know, normally there is a little bit longer of a wait period, but this one was just doing so well. I seem so happy. I've just moved it over into like my care and into my cabinet. So this one is my Hoya Bachiensis Elbow. I'm really excited for the outer variegation on this one to start sun stressing. I do have it on one of the leaves down here. You can see where it's like green elbow, and then on the edges it has that really deep pink color. So I'm hoping that all of these do that, but this one did take a little bit longer from Hoya Treasures to establish a root system for me. I had to keep this one in stratum for longer than I typically do before I moved them over to pon. And even inside of the pon in here, it's like the plant is pushing itself out of the pon. So I think I'm just gonna add one of those like strawberry stakes in here to keep it smushed down. But I haven't connected this to the trellis or anything. The root system on this one just seems to be very fragile. Hoyas have a shallow root system in general, but this one just seems like, I don't know, it can uproot its roots at any time. So if you're thinking about that one, just be mindful of that. I do think the root system is a little bit more delicate than other Hoyas I have in my collection. But it is very beautiful. This little cutie right here is a very basic Hoya, but I honestly find a lot of joy in this one. So this is my Hoya Fungi Splash. I'm hoping that this is one with orange blooms, but again, I don't know yet. They could be white. It is a really fast grower. It's really easygoing. I like that it has that traditional like deep green color, and then it has a little bit, you know, of like the speckling on here. If you are just looking to get into Hoyas, this is one that I feel like is very beautiful, like a standalone. This would be really pretty, you know, on a trellis or hanging, and it's very hardy. This reminds me of like more of a carnosa leaf, but I feel like this one handles neglect very well. So this is one of the few Hoyas that I have left in my Molly's Orchid Mix. So this one is not in semi-hydro. It's just in this very chunky, let me see if I can get these. It's in this very chunky Molly's Orchid Mix that I buy. I really love Molly's Orchid Mix. I'm not sponsored by her or anything, but I use her Aroid Mix and her Orchid Mix for my plants. I also use her Cacti and Succulent Mix. I love that it has like so many different ingredients, and it's such like a chunky, nutrient-rich soil, and it just comes to me, or soil-less mixture that comes to me already bagged up. I find it really convenient. I just dump it out, put it in like a tote, and then whenever I need to pot up a plant, I just scoop it up. I don't have to store a whole bunch of things. But yeah, that was a tangent about Molly's Mix. Sorry. But anywho, like I was saying, you're new to Hoyas, this one would be great. It's very forgiving. I feel like it teaches you a lot about noticing like underwatering. You can see the wrinkling on here. On the leaves, they'll start to shrivel up, or they'll taco, which is another sign. So I just think this one is a great teacher if you are looking to get into Hoyas. And it's just also a very beautiful, simple Hoya if you're looking to expand your collection. This one is one that I've wanted for a really long time, and I was so happy when I talked to Bridget at Beyond the Leaf Inc. and she had one in stock. So this is a Hoya Lacinosa Black Queen, and it is starting to sun stress on this one right here. It is so beautiful. It's like a purple black, but I couldn't believe she had one. This is a really hard to find Hoya in my area. It was all green in her shop, but I've just had it underneath those T5 Barinas, and it started to sun stress really, really beautifully. So I'm hoping as it keeps growing that, my gosh. But yeah, even this side over here is starting to sun stress. This one is a really fast grower. I love Lacinosa, and Lacinosa is one where there is just so many differences, I feel like, within a Lacinosa. Like the leaf shape is obviously going to be very similar, but the variegation and just wide range of colors that you can get in Lacinosa, I absolutely love them. I have a handful of them in my collection, and there are a few more that I would like to add. But yes, Lacinosa Black Queen, very, very, very lucky to have this one. Next up, we have my Hoya Wilbur Graves Silver. This one is starting to get that really cute, like pinky overtone as well. If you watched my Hoya video where like my cart fell over and I had to repot up a whole bunch of Hoyas, I think it was like 10 or 11 of them I had to repot. This is a Hoya that I didn't know what it was at the time, but a lot of you helped me out, and this one was identified as a Wilbur Graves Silver. Because of this one and because of how much I love it, I think I'm actually going to get rid of like my regular Hoya Wilbur Graves. The variegation on this one is just so beautiful. I love how like perky this one is. Yeah, it's not as fast of a grower as like my other Wilbur Graves, but I do enjoy this one a lot more. But if you're looking for that like pink sunstressing, Wilbur Graves Silver, I would recommend. This is another Hoya. I'm not sure if she will be staying with me or not. This was an impulse purchase last summer, I believe. This is a Hoya Silver Lady. And this one, I don't know, it's just like the texture on it is weird. Like I know that that's not like a normal thing I feel like to say about a plant, but it looks like it's like kind of lumpy. But like if you look at the leaf, it's like awkwardly indented in some places. And I don't know, I just don't really love that. Maybe there's like, I've heard of people refer to as Hoyas being like Jurassic. And maybe that's what this is, I don't know. But ever since I've purchased this plant, I have yet to fall in love with it. So I'm seeing what it does for me this growing season. Maybe the bloom is spectacular and I'll be sold then. But as of right now, it's on the potential weed out list for October. What do you think about Hoya Silver Lady? We like her, we don't. I don't know. I don't like the, see? Maybe you can see it better. See how it's like the weird lump right here? I don't know. And I would say that it's just like one leaf, but this one has it too, like a weird indentation. So, I don't know. But I have it. Here it is. Hope you like it. This beautiful little baby is my Hoya IM08. So this one, the leaves are much smaller than the IM02. They're more circular. They still have that like fuzzy edge, but these ones are a lot more round than the IM02, so I feel like you can tell the difference. Some of them kind of look like a heart, I feel like the shape, but this one is a very fast grower. And it started to get a little bit of sun stressing on it as well. I love that on a Hoya when it's like still green, but you can see like the color change from it being like dark green to more of that like medium green and into the sun stressing color. I think it is so beautiful. It requires really nothing from you to keep growing. Like a simple staple for your collection, you know? I don't know. I just think they're so cute, and I love that they're like a little bit fuzzy too, the leaves on here. The IM08. So this one does not have a tag. So I don't know what the name of it is. This was from my last purchase of the Green Escape, when I finally just accepted that I'm never happy with the plants that I buy from them, and I hate having to rehab the plants that I buy, so I've just stopped purchasing from them altogether. I'll put the name of this one up on the screen because the blooms on this one are supposed to be so beautiful. If it ever blooms, the leaves are beautiful. So this one recently, I've transitioned it out of tree fern because it was rotting in stratum. Finally built up a root system, and it's been in my setup for 3-4 months now, and I'm finally starting to get all of these other little leaves from the growth points. So I'm excited to see how many leaves I get. There's like little baby leaves on here. So I'm really excited. I hope that it blooms. And yeah, I'll put the name of this one on the screen. I'm not a huge, big Hoya leaf lover, but I do think that this one has the potential to be absolutely stunning. This little cutie patootie is my Hoya Intervariegate Mathilde. I think it is so cute. I love the variegation on this one and the little pinky stem. I don't feel like it grows as fast as my Hoya Mathilde Silver, but it is a consistent grower. This is my Hoya Leucantha. I think this is so beautiful and just dainty. I don't know what it is about these like long wispy leaves, but they are a very close contender to small leaves for me. I just think that there's something very beautiful about them, and like they're very elegant. I don't know. I just feel like they really bring a lot of like whimsical texture to your collection, and they are just, I don't know. I mean, they're a good standalone plant as well. This one is starting to sun stress a little bit, which I really love. But yeah, Hoya leucantha. I think it's so beautiful. This one I think is a tried and true of many Hoya collectors. This is my Hoya houseplant intervariegated. This one is seriously so cute. I love the little pink that's in here. I think the majority of the time I see these, they are trailing, but I wanted to put this one on a trellis just again to see if it would help me get blooms faster. The blooms on this plant are seriously so cute. If you haven't seen the blooms on the houseplant, you should totally look them up, but it is a staple Hoya in my opinion. This little gem right here is my Hoya discipulae. It is a very, very frequent bloomer for me. If you have not seen the blooms on this one, they're like, I don't know, a mixer. I just think like the cute little cluster of blooms poking out of this really long foliage just looks so stunning. This is the second time that this has bloomed for me in the time that I've had it, and now I have 4 clusters of blooms on here. I hope that they like all stagger open differently so that I get to experience the blooms for longer. And the leaves also, they're thin, but there's like a slight pillowing within the veination that I think is really, really unique as well. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this one in my collection. I would recommend this one to anybody. I have a lot of pink Hoyas on this side. But this is a Lacinosa Golden Flame. This one is starting to get a little bit more of that pink in the center. I did get this one from somebody off of Marketplace, and I wasn't sure on the lighting conditions that they had. So I've placed it on the bottom where it's underneath that mother grow light. But I'm hoping if it does well that I can move it up to the top underneath the 2 T5s to bring out more of this variegation. I would love for the, I think that's like the 5th time I've dropped leca in here. I would love for this like white inner variegation to be as vibrant of that like pink tone as I can. But we'll see. Lacinosa Golden Flame. So this is probably our first sad specimen in here. This is my Hoya Archboliana Albo. I purchased this one from Hoya Treasures, and when I first got it, at the time I was putting all of my new Hoyas in my Acrobar cabinet as like, I don't know, a transitional period before I let them out in Gen Pop. And since I have 2 T5 Barinas in my Acrobar, it completely scorched like the elbow part of this. So I took a cutting off of it. I have it rooting in stratum, so I have like a security cutting, you know, if something happens. But since I have scorched these, this plant has not grown or done anything, and I've had this for a couple of months. I did just add some of that like rooting paste on it down here, which is why it's like kind of sticky. And I think this one right here is a new growth point, and potentially this one and another one down at the base might be doing something, but as of yet, it's just a stump. Besides the fact that I scorched this plant is like meaty. Like the leaves on here are hard, you know? I mean, obviously it's a leaf, so it's like still pliable and stuff, but they just feel way more stiff than the other Hoyas that I have in my collection. And it also gives like a dinosaur, like reptilian look. And I really like that. So I know there was just a Hoya a second ago. I said I didn't like the lumpy Jurassic thing, but this type of like scaly looking Hoya, I do really enjoy. So I'm hoping that this one bounces back. I'm thinking that maybe it was just shocked since I scorched it, and it's gonna take a little bit longer to figure out what it needs. But yes, this one, the blooms on it, I hope that it lives. I hope that I get blooms. Send good vibes for this little burnt baby to get better. Next up, we have my SP West Java. So this one I know doesn't really look like much. It just kind of looks, I don't know, I think it looks similar to my fungi. Is that how you say it? Is it fungi plant? I don't know. I need to for real get it together on these names. But what is really amazing is this is a yellow trumpet bloom. So it has like those bell trumpets that come off of it. They're very large. They're super vibrant yellow. And so I'm hoping that I get there with this plant. The other cool thing about this plant for me is if you have been on my channel for a while, there was a time, I think in October, where I said I was going to go on a plant ban. Okay. I cannot stop buying plants. But anywho, I said I was going to go on a plant ban, and then this woman posted that her and her daughter were in, like, I don't know, an unsafe environment, and they had to leave, and so she needed to get rid of all of her plants, yada, yada, yada. So I ended up buying some plants from her and broke my plant ban. But she reached out to me and was like, hey, I have a couple of cuttings. I would love to swap you for the plants that you bought when I had to sell off my collection. I'm trying to rebuild it now that my daughter and I are in our own place. And like, that was just so cool to me, you know, that she remembered who she sold her Hoyas to, and she was like trying to collect her collection. So I told her she didn't have to give me anything, but she said that she would feel better if we did like a fair swap. So this is one that I didn't have in my collection. So we traded for, I think there are two that she gave me to get two of her plants back. We just did like a cutting for cutting situation. But yeah, I really like that this one has like a special story for me, and that I was able to help her out and give her something that finds her joy after she was able to like reestablish a safe space for her and her daughter. This little crazy guy is my Hoya passiflora. This one to me looks like Hoya shepherdii and linearis had a baby. That's what this one reminds me of, like just the way that it kind of gives you that linearis like vibe, but it looks like a baby shepherdii. I don't know, I just saw it, I couldn't pass it up. I know absolutely nothing about this Hoya, but he looks like he's just got a crazy haircut right now. I think it's so cool. It's kind of like a troll haircut. I don't know, I had to get it. But yeah, if you're into like long trailing linearis shepherdii type Hoyas, this is a passiflora, super easygoing. I have to water this reservoir like, I don't know, once every couple months. It really needs barely anything from me. It takes care of itself. This one is my Hoya croniana silver splash, and I think it is so cute. So when I first got this plant, I thought that this was a plant that I already had in my collection, but it turns out that I have a Lacunosa super silver, and I was able to deduce that based on the leaf shape of this one. So if you are curious in your collection, if you have a croniana or a Lacunosa, they do look very similar. You can tell by the leaf shape. So Lacunosa is going to give more of that like elongated arrowhead shape, whereas a croniana is going to give you more of like a little heart shape. So it has more of like a rounder top and comes to a point, whereas a Lacunosa is more of like that rounded, elongated point. So that was fun for me. That was a good learning opportunity, but I really like this plant. It's a super fast grower, and really anything with silver is always a win in my book. Last up over here on the bottom is my Hoya silver dollar. This one is also like a big beefy. Like, I think if I were to fold this, it would give me a little bit of resistance. Like, these are a very chunky leaf in my opinion. I really love the silver dollar. I think that it is really, really pretty. I also love that the silver on this one, it's more of like a sage silver. I don't feel like it is a traditional, like, where did that silver one go? So if we were comparing silver to silver on these, it's not like your traditional silver when you think of a plant, at least when I think of a silver plant. And I don't know, I just really like that it is a green silver. It is more of a sage color, and I love sage. So maybe it doesn't look like it on camera, but yeah, the coloration of this one is really cool. It's like a very cool toned silver plant. I don't know, but if you haven't got your hands on one of these, I highly recommend. They're super fun to see, like these teeny tiny little buds start out, and then it comes into like this huge leaf. That's really fun for me. This one has just went off since I put it on a trellis, and this is another one that I keep in my Molly's mix. I have found with this Hoya silver dollar that it is more susceptible to like rot. So watering on this one, it's better to err on the side of more dry than more wet, which is why I decided to leave this one in my orchid mix. Last section. And the first one I'm going to pull out is my Hoya Walliana, and I'm so sad about it. look at it. It's so sad. So in this, I have my Hoya Walliana, just like green form, which is very sun-stressed, very beautiful. And on this side, I have my inner variegated Walliana. You can kind of see some of it. I literally just took this one out of stratum to pot these two together. And now I'm gonna have to take this one out and try to save it yet again. I don't know what it is about the inner variegated Walliana, but I just cannot. Like, you can see a good comparison. True form, variegated form. I suck at this form. I do not get it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can take it out and be able to salvage some of this. But right now, it does not look good. But the Walliana, just like the sun-stressed one, looks very beautiful and perky. It's handling the transition to my DIY setup very well. If you have any tips for inner variegated Walliana, please let me know because I need them. Next up, we have another cute little small leaf one. This one I think is like, I don't know, it kind of looks like a heart shape, but it also has these really cool like veination you can see. Like, it's almost like ripply, which I really love. This one is a Hoya Tang Chong Ensis. Changhongensis, I think is how you pronounce it. But yeah, I love like just the delicate little like veination on this one. It really does look like rippling. Like if you were to throw a stone into like a lake, this is just what it reminds me of, like that little like ripple of that effect. I don't know. I love this one. I could talk about it all day long. I am on a quest right now to find an inner variegated one, but they are so hard to find. I saw one pop up on Etsy, a lot of money, so I didn't buy it, and now I'm regretting it because that was months ago. So if you know anybody that has an inner variegated Tang Chong Ensis, let me know. I want to buy one. So this one, I really love how this one's growing right now, but this is my Lacinosa Gray Ash. I was able to score this one from Bridget at Beyond the Leaf Inc. I've been on the hunt for this one for a while, and I'll just like randomly send her a message and be like, hey, do you have blah, 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 blah. And I send her my very long ISO list, and she always comes through. She has a great variety. If you're local, seriously, check her out. They do like $10 Hoyas or 50% off Hoyas most Saturdays. So you can follow them on Facebook or Instagram to let you know. And she's always doing raffles and things too. The shop is really fun. She's really cool. But yeah, I fangirled out over Bridget, but this is my Lacinosa Gray Ash. Next up, we have another really fun silver one. This is my Hoya Lima Silver. This one, oh my Lanta. So it took this plant 4 months to push a growth point. 4 months. Like, it literally was just 2 little leaves down here chilling. But once it took off, it took off. So I have a whole bunch of leaves growing on this one, and then it's now split into 2 different tendrils, and then the main vine is still growing as well. So I'm happy that it's established, it's doing well. I'm really excited for this one to fill out. Next up, we have my GPS 7240. This one is referred to as like the grape Hoya because it does have like these plumpy little leaves. This one, holy Hannah. In my area, it took me so long to find this thing. But I love the color on this one. It's like green, but it also has like a purpley tone to it, like when it sun stresses. You can see it down here. It's a little bit darker than it is on the side of the trellis. But I love this one. I love that it's like bouncy and full. Once this one grows all the way around the trellis, I think what I'm going to do is like propagate it into like 3 or 4 node sections, because I do think that this one would look super, super cool if it was trailing. I just find that Hoyas grow a lot faster if you put them on a trellis. Okay, so this is another one that I just transferred over from Fluval. So far, so good. It seems to be doing well, but this is a Lacinosa Suma, I believe. I purchased a bag of Hoya cuttings from Bridget. She did like a mystery cutting bag, and this was in there. It established itself really well in stratum, but those little stratum cups I use are like, I don't know, they're like shot glasses. And then moving it over to these pots, they're 3 inches. So I mean, that's a pretty big jump to them. But like I said, so far so good, but this one is super cool. I love that the back of this one is like, I don't know, it's like leopardy, tiger striped. It reminds me very much of a big cat. The back of this, I think, is really cool. And then the front is just very vibrant. Bridget always hooks it up with like random mystery things. She'll give you some common and some rare. But I had actually never seen this Lacinosa before it was in that mystery bag. So let me know what you think about this one. I think it's pretty cool. Next up, we have my Hoya Mini Cantiana. And this one is starting to get some really cute sun stressing on the top. I don't know what it is about Hoyas, but I love it when just like the middle sun stresses. To me, it's like when somebody gets freckles, you know, like across their nose. That's what this reminds me of. I just think there's something like so innocent about it. But this one is a really fast grower. I could have mis-ID'd this one. This was given to me as a no ID from Hoya Treasures at one of the plant swaps that I saw her at. I was picking up like 7 other plants and she's like, here, have this free one. So I'm pretty sure though it is a mini Cantiana. If you think it's something different, let me know. This is one of my top 10 Hoyas for sure in my collection. This is my Lacinosa intervariegated, and I don't know how well it's gonna do it justice on camera, but honestly, the leaves on this one, it seriously looks like a watercolor painting. There are so many different tones in each and every leaf on here. It is just, I don't know, so beautiful. Like these light pinks and then the green, the lighter variegation in here. It's such a fast grower. It is very easygoing. These ones over here, these like darker pink ones, are starting to get a little bit sun stressed. So it's just, I don't know. I just think this one is seriously so beautiful. And it's just very like, I feel like because of all of the different colors on here, it just adds more depth and a little bit more character to this plant. But yeah, this is for sure top 10, maybe even top 5 Hoyas. I absolutely love Hoya Lacinosa intervariegated. So pretty. If you don't have one, you need one. Then this little gem right here is another one of like my unicorn wish list plants. This one I totally impulse purchased from Hoya Treasures because I know when something comes in stock, it's like gone in a couple of hours. So this one is a Gadungading Ghost. Mine is super sun stressed and I absolutely love it. So when I see these online, they're normally like very subtle ghosty, but I love that this has like burnt red with that silver ghost. I think that it is so cool. I love the sun stressing on this one. I hope it keeps going. If you watched one of my unboxing videos, I'm not sure which one, but I'll link it up on the top. I showed how I use paste to bring out growth, and I've started to get new sets of leaves on all the places that I put that like cloning paste on. So it really is a good tip if you have like a tentrailing plant with no leaves coming out. It even brought out another leaf down here, and I believe this is going to tendril out into its own like new growth point. So it just helps fill your plants out. I'll link it, like I said, up at the top. So if you guys want to go back and watch that unboxing and get the tip for this one, you can. I just don't want to repeat myself if someone's came back and like watched multiple videos. But yeah, Gadungading Ghost. So cool, this one. I don't even know. It's like a reptile again. I think it's so cool, and it's definitely textured. These leaves are really hardy, but I don't know. It's like not the traditional plant that I would go for, but I just think it's so cool. It's the coolest plant I own, I guess. This one is another wish list plant, and this one is probably in my top 10 too. So this is a Hoya AH-074. I believe this one is a hybrid of a Carnosa Gray Ghost and a Publicalyx. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure that's the hybrid. But I absolutely love the silver on this one. I'm starting to realize by doing this video that I really just like plants that have like the speckling variegation. I don't really like sectoral variegation on Hoyas. I like that more on like philodendrons. But on these ones where it's kind of like, I don't know, just a little bit chaotic, I guess. I just think it looks really good on this genus. But yeah, this is a really silvery plant. This is a newer one. But I think that's so fun to have one that's so silver, and then right next to it you have one that's a little bit more green. They're so fun. This was another one that was in that like mystery cuttings bag from Bridget. It's been on my wish list for a while and I just have not been able to find it. So I was really happy when she tossed it in my bag for me. I've asked her about it I don't know how many times. So she for sure hooked up for me in that bag. But yeah, AH-074. Really pretty, especially if you like silver plants. This is another one of like my little dainty plants. And the name on this one, I feel like fits it. But this one is a Hoya Mini Pixie. I think that that's such a cute name. But it has, you know, just really dainty, small leaves. This one is a really fast grower. I feel like it doesn't need a lot from you. It's super easy going. And it does like self-branch, which I think is really cool. So I have another growth point over here. I'm just letting it grow out a little bit more so I can wrap it the other way. But yeah, I would be really, really excited if this one would bloom for me. I thought these little guys were gonna turn into like a peduncle and then it was gonna do something, but I have one here and one over here, and I have yet to get a peduncle or anything, so I don't know. Okay, and then last up, that is in my cabinet, this is a Hoya Microdorf. I really love the veining on this one. Like, it's very subtle, but I like that it gives the same like elongated look as these leaves. This is another one that I don't see very often or talked about very often, the Microdorf, but I do find this one very beautiful. I'm starting to get a whole bunch of new growth down here. There's like a new branch, and then I recently just put this on a trellis, so I have a whole bunch of little baby leaves. That's one of the fun things for Hoyas with me, is how small the leaves start out to how big they get. This is another one though that the root system is really delicate. So if you're looking for a Hoya that you want to like be able to change cash pots a lot, or you want to be able to propagate a lot, I do think this one stresses very easy. I have one of those little strawberry picks in here just to make sure that the root system stays down in this. I have bumped the trellis a couple times and it's like wiggled the root system out, and when it does it, it like stops growing completely. So if you don't want a diva, I would not get the Microdorf. I hope you guys enjoyed my new Hoya cabinet and getting to see a glimpse into my Hoya collection. If you have any questions on how I set up the Mills bow or any of the Hoyas that I have in my collection, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to engage with you guys. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. Bye.
Damn.